Hello folks, this is Sula once again. Welcome to another video for Teamfight Tactics. In this video we're going to be looking at a Berserkers comp and one that ends up going into Electric. This is taken from one of my normal games of Teamfight Tactics. This is a decently high ranking lobby. Most of the players in this game are somewhere in Platinum. I think there's one gold player. I think that there's one or two unranked players, but a decent lobby here. So I've been enjoying a lot of these games. We've been playing Teamfight Tactics games on Fridays before the Civ Friday stream starts and having a lot of fun. This is not taken from one of those. I kind of have to use these replays kind of have to come from games that I'm doing by myself because when I'm playing games on live stream, I don't have this like recording in the background running. So normally I just flip on the recording when I'm playing Teamfight Tactics games and try to use ones that are interesting in some way or show off a different team composition to put on these YouTube videos. Maybe in set 3 we'll finally have replays, but I'm not crossing my fingers on it. In any case though, let's go ahead and get started. So this is going to be on an ocean board. I went ahead and grabbed the Malzahar with the Chain Vest, and Chain Vest right now is a pretty popular starting item in Teamfight Tactics. It can build into a number of different things. You can always grab a second Chain Vest, either off carousel or just get it in the random drops. 2 Chain Vests will make Bramble Vest, and that's a great item to put on a tanky champion in the early game. You can make it a long way just with a Bramble Vest on like a 2-star Nasus or something like that. You can put a Needlessly Large Rod on it, and that will make a Locket, which is also a great item for the early game, particularly for a Berserkers comp. You can look to put something like a Tear on it, and you get Glacial Frozen Heart, which is not a bad item either. So there's a lot of different... Oh, and you can get a BF Sword and make Guardian Angels. There's a lot of different possibilities here. I didn't have a great sense for what to play off of this initial drop, so the first thing I picked up was I had a Scion drop, which is a really interesting unit to get so early. Scion's quite strong. I was thinking Scion plus Malzahar. This could go into a Shadow team composition. It's not one that I don't think I featured that on video, but that's also a pretty popular comp. And I was thinking, well, maybe I'll go and look to play Shadow here. Otherwise I just kind of bought up the board there. I haven't really been getting what I was looking for, though. I was like, do I want to play Shadow? Well, I need a third Shadow champion. I haven't found one yet. I was thinking maybe I play Berserkers, but I haven't found any Berserkers other than the Scion here. So I was like, all right, I don't really know what to play. I'll toss the Nasus in. I'm going to hold on to the Dianas just because maybe I can find a Diana 2-star. I was thinking maybe if I find a Diana 2-star, I'll look to play something that's Inferno-based, but I'm not finding that. I was thinking if I get any gold here, I'll go for the Zyra maybe. But since I'm not getting gold, and since I really don't know what I'm going to play, I'm just going to go to 10 gold. Like, see how I go to 10 gold saved up in inventory? So I'm just going to make sure I can get as much interest in as possible here by looking to accumulate lots and lots of gold. So yeah, another kind of empty board. I've gotten a ton of Ladimirs, which would be great if I was playing mages, but I kind of haven't really gone the mage route. I don't have items to play mages. Like, this would be a bad game to play mages. Look, I've got a Chain Vest, I've got a Brawler's Glove, and I've got a Negatron Cloak. None of these items build into anything that mages would want. So I don't really have anything. And these are not good starting items. They don't really make anything useful. Like, I don't want to make a Sword Breaker. I don't want to make an Iceborne Gauntlet. These are all weak items. So I was like, all right, well, I'm not winning this round. I 100% lose this round. I have absolutely nothing here. So since I have nothing, the best thing I can do is just look to econ as much as possible. And I'm clearly not going to kill any of these units. I'm going to take a lot of damage, so that's not great. But the good news is, here at the very beginning of the game, you don't take that much damage. I only take 7 damage, even though I don't even remotely come close to winning that round. So I'm not going to be able to do much on that particular round. But here, I see the Braum and I see the Jax, and I was like, okay, well, this will maybe get me a little bit closer to something. I can sell the Dianas. I can look to maybe play... I can look to maybe play the Jax, and then I'm only 1 Berserker away, so I think I'm going to look to play that. And then if I sell the Braum, I can get to 20 gold here, which if I can't or do I sell the Malzahar here? I can't remember. But if I can get up to 20 gold here, then at least I'm getting a lot of money. Now, I'm not going to win this round either. These are all 2-star champs. I was like, all right, once again, I'm not going to win this. Maybe I can kill 1 champ. Fortunately, Scion gets off a nice ult. So I'm just hoping I can kill the Ornn here and not take that much damage. I'm definitely not going to win 2 rounds. So yeah, I'm going to ditch the Braum. And no, I don't actually manage to kill anything. So I lose another, 8 health? But that was a comp I was not going to beat anyway. So the only good thing I can say thus far is I am very, very rich. To be at 20 gold on stage 2-2 is like a ridiculous amount of money for this early in the game. But here I finally get a little something. I am able to find the Volibear, so that is going to allow me to play Berserkers if I put 4 Berserkers in, and it's also going to let me play Electric here. So what I really should do is ditch the Malzahar and then put in Jax, and that's going to get me up to Electric 2 and Berserkers 3. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Going to ditch the extra Malzahar I found. Might have been able to get Malzahar 2-star, but it didn't happen there. I'm going to play Scion on the Ocean Hex because I want him to get his ult off faster. He is by far the most impactful ult out of these, and I'm thinking I might be able to win this if I can get off a good Scion ult from this fight. So even though I still have very little, I am going to kill the Volibear on the enemy team, and that Yasuo will be dangerous later on, but Jax is going to get his ult off just before he dies. Very nice timing right there. And yeah, thanks to those electric procs, I'm actually going to be able to win this round, even though I have very, very little here. 3 1-star champs. And so now we're going to go to Carousel, and I'm at 27 gold. What I want here is I want a Needlessly Large Rod because that'll allow me to make a Locket, which is really good for Berserkers. I actually wanted the Ezreal because I can sell the Ezreal for 3 gold. And that would put me over the income threshold to get to 30. So I can't get that, but I can sell that Nasus. I'm less likely to play Nasus now that I'm playing Berserkers. I was kind of hoping I'd find a Nasus. My early thought was maybe I get 2 Chain Vests and make Nasus with Bramble Vest, 2-star Nasus, which can really carry you through the early game, but never found that many Nasuses, so I'll sell one. Now I'm going to sell that Skarner with the Needlessly Large Rod as soon as he pops up, so that'll be happening any second now as soon as we get off Carousel. And even though I'm not very strong, boy, am I rich here. I've got a lot as far as money goes. So yeah, 34 gold here coming out of the Carousel. That is a ton for this early in the game. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Locket onto Ornn. Why do I put it on Ornn? Because Locket gives you a bigger shield if it's on a 2-star champ. He's the only 2-star champ I found thus far. Can make Quicksilver, but that's not so good. I'm going to hope to get better items here. I would love to get a Recurve Bow so I could make a Last Whisper on that Brawler's Glove. As far as the Negatron Cloak, I think ideal would probably be to get a Giant's Belt so that I could make a Zephyr out of that. If not, another, I could always pair it with a BF Sword for Bloodthirster, which is a decent item on Olaf, if not a top tier item. I could also pair it with another Negatron Cloak to make Dragon's Claw, which is a nice defensive item. So I lose that round. Again, I still have no... I guess I just have the 1 2-star champ. I just have the 2-star Ornn. So I'm going to look to buy up the Volibear. I'm still going to be over 40 gold sitting here. I have a very small bench. So I've taken a fair bit of damage, and that's not great. But look at some of these players here. That Arcadian and Red Tang, they have no money whatsoever. They've been spending all of their money rolling down here at like level 4 or level 5, which is not the smart thing to do. It's you're going to do well in the early game, but you're not setting yourself up very well for later on in the game. I am very rich. I've got a great economy, so this is going to put me in a position to find units later on in the game when I'm more likely to get something good. Like if I roll at like level 6, I'll have a much better chance to find, say, Olaf, and I'll be able to find some of the other Berserkers later on. I mean, I am still going to need to get a little bit lucky. There's always luck in terms of finding what you need in teamfight tactics. But by econing, I'll have a better chance of finding what I'm actually looking for. And this is actually getting reasonably close here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to win this. I'm up against that Kindred who's got the Seraphs who's hopping around like crazy. Can Ornn get ult off? No, Ornn dies before Ornn can get the ult off. Now, can Volley get a bite off? Come on, Volley. Yeah, there we go. Take a bite out of that Kindred. Trying to hop away. I'll show you. All right, so here I have a chance to pick up some more stuff. I've found a Braum. Braum is useful because he will make Glacial. I'm actually going to go ahead and level here and put in Braum to make that Glacial. So yeah, this is, I think I described this in our previous video as kind of like the poo-poo platter of team compositions. When you really don't have much, it's almost all 1-star champs, but I do have Berserker 3, I've got Electric 2, I have Glacial 2, and I have Warden 2. So this is a nice 5-unit synergy here. The key units here are Volibear, Braum, and Ornn. I could plug in any other 2 Berserkers to make this work, but key units are really those 3, the Ornn, the Volibear, and the Braum. The Braum and the Ornn are probably coming out of the comp later on, but Volibear will stay, and the Berserkers will stay. So I can put stuff on Ornn knowing that he's going to be sold later on. All right, so good stuff here. I have able to find a BF Sword plus the Chain Vest, so that can go ahead and make Guardian Angel. I'll look to play that. I think I'm just going to look to play that right now because I might as well get some use out of it. Ornn is obviously not someone you put a GA on, but in this particular case, it can be useful. I'm playing my champs on the ocean hexes here. Like, ideally, you put Berserkers in the back row so that when they jump, they have a better chance of getting access to the back row on the enemy team. Like, it's just best practice to put your Berserkers in the far row, like, as close to you as possible. Excuse me. But with the double ocean hex being in the third row, I feel like it's better to play them in that row as opposed to putting them further back. So we are fortunately getting that that very nice Locket Shield that protects us at the start of these fights. And even though Scion whiffs on his ult there, this team we're up against here is fairly weak. Mostly one-star champs as well. And with all of our various synergies there, the Berserker, the Electric, the Glacial, the Warden, we're actually not that weak. Like, I'm already at a point where I'm not lowest in health. I'm actually doing okay here, considering how weak my early game was. And all that gold is really compounded. And so now I high roll. I get an Olaf at level 5, which is just crazy good luck. And then I find a Renekton, and that actually gets me to 6 Berserkers here. So I was like, oh my god, I can just play 6 Berserkers right here at level 6. This is incredibly early to have 6 Berserkers, so I'm going to ditch the Ornn, and I'm going to look to play my 6 Berserkers right now. There we go. So, and I can even start transferring the items over. We'll put that Locket on Scion. I want him to be tankier. And we'll go ahead and put the Guardian Angel on Olaf. So hopefully we can find a recurve bow to make Last Whisper. And then maybe some more attack speed items for Olaf later on. But yeah, 6 Berserkers, 2 Glacial here on stage 3 too. So there's obviously a fair bit of luck in that. I mean, you got to find, you're not always going to find these champs, but still, holy cow. Take a good example of playing what you're dealt here. I was given Berserkers, and that's what I'm looking to play. Sadly, I'm 2 gold short here of hitting, or 1 gold short of hitting 50, but I'm not going to sell. I want to hold on to that Braum because I think I'll be playing him later on. And with some of the top teams in terms of health sitting there on 0 gold, I'm feeling pretty comfortable here right now. I'm just going to look to Econ for the moment. I don't think I need to roll down necessarily. I will pick up the Braum, but I don't think I necessarily have to roll that much. I would like to get to 7 if possible. Like, if this was a very aggressive lobby, like if I was in danger of losing health, I would be rolling right now, but I think I can probably go to 7 because it's so early in the game, and I'm still in reasonably good shape on health. I'm also looking at these comps, and I think that I beat most of them just because I was able to hit Berserker 6 at such an insanely early date. I also have decent items. I've got that Locket, which is very helpful, and I've got the Guardian Angel for Olaf, so even if he gets popped right away... By the way, nice Scion ult. That's the Ocean Hex kicking in and allowing Scion to get that ult off. One of the weaknesses of the Berserkers team comp is it's not the tankiest comp. You kind of have a weak front line with this team composition, and you don't always have that much in the way of crowd control. So Scion is kind of one of your few units that does both of those. It's both very tanky and also provides some crowd control. So putting him with the Locket for extra health, well, not extra health, a shield at the start of the fight. But the Locket is really nice. And in addition to that, it's also quite nice so that he gets his ult off faster with that Ocean Hex. Now, I'm actually in one of the last people to pick now, thanks to getting all this health. I was hoping to get the recurve bow here. Last Whisper for Olaf is one of my most desired items. That's not available, but I can pick up the Sivir with the Giant's Belt, and I'll use that Negatron Cloak to make a Zephyr, because I think that's the best that I can do with that Negatron Cloak, is to create a Zephyr, and then that gives me the possibility of eliminating one of the strongest units on the enemy team and really focusing on getting positioning down right. On our Discord, we've been talking a lot about the importance of Zephyr, and a number of us have been winning rounds. So anyway, I guess I am gonna roll a little bit here. So I'm gonna find an Olaf. Let's see, do I roll below 50? Yes. So I think I was just trying to see if I could upgrade my comp here, because I did have gold, and I wanted to see if I could grab some of these champs before they were taken. I should have picked up the Kazakhs there, by the way. That was a mistake. I definitely should have picked that up. You also note me picking up Karma's. Karma is important to pick up because she will be able to buff Olaf. So I'm going to roll down to 30 here, and then we'll look to go from there. If I could, obviously could find one more Olaf, I'd be set. And I also need to make the Zephyr, which I have forgotten to do. So we'll be looking to do that. But I was able to get a number of my Berserkers up to 2 stars. In particular, it can be helpful in a situation like this where I'm looking for like 2-star Volibear, 2-star Renekton. It's actually easier to find them when I'm a lower level than when I'm a higher level. So in that sense, it's better to make them when I'm only like level 6 as opposed to when I'm level 7 or 8. It's hard to find a 1-star Renekton at like level 8. So there we go. We're going to 2-star the Volibear, and at this point I'm like, all right, I'm probably pretty safe just to level here. I'll look to level to 7 after Wolves, And at that point, I'll have to decide what I want to put in, whether I want to put in a desert champ. Need another desert champ to get the armor debuff from desert. And also if I want to put in, say, the karma to buff Olaf. This is one of the changes that has happened to Berserkers in the recent patches. After poison was nerfed in one of the relatively recent patches, it's no longer like a given that you're going to go into poison. There we get the Zephyr on the Yasuo right there. Very nice. So yeah, it's no longer a given that you go into poison because poison's not as overwhelmingly strong as it was in earlier patches. You can be better off just looking to buff the Olaf with the Karma because, you know, that's kind of the key to these compositions is to get Olaf going, and Karma really does help a lot with that. That win is also quite nice, gets me over 40 gold, so I hit the next income threshold to get as much income as possible, and now we're going to have a minion round here. So we'll look to go from there. So that's why I'm not picking up the Twitches. If you're curious, you might be saying like, oh, you've gotten a fair number of Twitches. Yeah, not picking them up for that reason. I'm not looking to go into poison. Now, if I were to have a Singe dropped in my lap at like level 7, then maybe. But otherwise, I'm going to look to play a little bit different. One of the things I've heard is that one of the strongest things you can play is level 6, you play the 6 Berserkers. At level 7, you usually try to get Desert into your team composition. And then after that, at level 8, there's a number of different ways you can go. You can look to try and play Karma to power up Olaf, as I already mentioned. Or you can look to, if you can get another 2-star Olaf, just play another Olaf. Double Olafs can be one of the strongest things to do. All right, so right here, I'm going to look to play the Olaf, and I'm going to put that Karma in. There we go, 2-star Karma. So now I also could look to play a Desert Champ, but I feel like the 2-star Karma is probably a little stronger, so I will pick up the Azir just so I have that. But I'm going to sell the Kiana who just dropped there. And there's another... I actually failed to pick that up. There was another Azir. I should have grabbed that. Whoops. And I can now also sell the Brahms because it's pretty clear I'm not going to be going into Brahm. Let's see if I remember to do that. I know I do drop the Brahms at some point. We get another decent Zephyr, if not an ideal Zephyr. All right, there we go. So I do sell the 2 Brahms to get up to 40 gold, or 30 gold, excuse me. But now that I've got 2-star Olaf with a Karma, a 2-star Karma, to give him extra attack speed and shielding. Yeah, I'm very strong. Like, this is early in the game to have a 2-star Olaf and 6 Berserkers with the Glacial in. So, admittedly, I don't have Desert in, which I do want to get. I want to get up to level 8 and get Desert in, because I do want to get that armor debuff. But I feel like playing the 2-star Olaf is better than playing the Olaf with the 2-star Karma is better than getting Desert in from like a 1-star Azir. Now, if you're curious about what the heck I'm doing right now, I'm actually taking the unit with the Zephyr out because it's going to be harder for the enemy team to scout. I can't recall if you see items that are on the other player's bench. Even if you can, it's much harder to see them, but I think you might not even be able to see them. So, like, by just doing this, if anyone else is scouting, they're not going to see that Zephyr until it's too late, until I put it back in. And I'm deliberately targeting this right Ocean Hex on the enemy's board because I saw more of the enemy's carries were located there, and looky, we managed to Zephyr out the 3-star LeBlanc. Of course, the LeBlanc still does get cloned, but it's still helpful to have that unit, the one that has the items taken out. And Red Tang over there, who was win streaking through the very early game, apparently rolled down all of his gold and has no gold at level 6, which means that is a dead man walking, basically. So we finally 2-star the last Berserker. Again, I've been quite fortunate in finding Berserkers in this game. I'm not going to try to pretend otherwise. I've had fantastic luck in finding Berserkers. I have all 6 Berserkers 2-starred here on stage 4-3. It's very early to have all the Berserkers 2-starred. So again, I'm trying to look at these comps. I'm trying to see. I still think that Ocean Hex is probably the best one to target for the Zephyr. And right now I'm just trying to get up to level 8 as quickly as possible so I can put Desert in. Ideally, I will find a Kha'Zix, but if I can't find a Kha'Zix, I'll look to play the Azir. So here, I don't really get a great Zephyr. This looks like it's going into, I guess this is a light composition. The problem is Vayne has no items. For some reason, the items are on Senna. I guess the idea is to go into Lucian later on, but instead this person's been like hyper rolling for a 3-star Vayne who has no items, and hyper rolling for 3-star Senna. I don't think 3-star Senna is very good. So this is another like dead man walking team composition. Just didn't manage economy, and there's no carry here. I mean, I guess the idea is to go into Lucian with that Senna, but there's no Lucian on that team, and it looks like there's not enough money to roll for Lucian. So this was a team comp. Noble 6 and who was the other one? Red Tang just didn't manage their economy well enough. All right, well, it's once again my carousel here. Again, I would love the recurve bow. I know that it is never going to get to me. By the way, I'm actually first in health. I believe I'm on like an 8 or 9 match winning streak at this point. So maybe the Annie will be there, but that again seems unlikely that Annie is still going to be there with the recurve bow. So that's going to deny me the chance to take Last Whisper. It finally gets grabbed there. I was like, that's not great. So out of these options, there's not a ton that I can get between the last two items here. The most useful is to pick up the Kha'Zix with that Negatron Cloak, and I'm just going to use the double Negatron Cloaks to make a Dragon's Claw on Zephyr. A Dragon's Claw on Olaf, Dragon's Claw on Zephyr. Yeah, that made a lot of sense. So like I said, this is not the best item for Olaf, but it's not a bad item. It's pretty solid. It's a good defensive itemization, makes him much stronger against magic damage. He already has the Guardian Angel, so he has some protection against physical damage. So it's just going to make him, in general, tankier, harder for him to kill. It is not my ideal item. I would much prefer to have a Last Whisper, but I still have a shot to get that for his last item. Either that or Rapid Fire Cannon would also be really nice items. But instead I have two kind of defensive items on him, which is interesting. And here, that Zephyr, once again, is going to get a key unit, manages to take out that Azir on the enemy team. Sion gets off a fantastic ult, hits 3 people on the enemy team. Also gets his ult off while he still has the shadow damage buff at the beginning of the match. Oh, wait, is he going to get... Oh, there we go. Actually eliminate Katusa? Katusa. Sorry, I'm looking at the name. It's a little small on my screen. I guess he actually didn't have the shadow buff in play because I don't have 3 shadow, but he did manage to get his ult off right at the start of that fight, and he hits, I think, 3 people on the enemy team. So now I'm on a 10-match winning streak, by the way. So I was like, oh, that's pretty good. And here I could wait to level until after the minion round, but note that I'm on a 10-match winning streak, so I kind of want this winning streak to continue. So that's why I'm leveling here before the minion round to go ahead and get Desert in. The Desert Origin will remove 40% of the enemy team's armor, so that's just going to make my Berserkers that much stronger in terms of killing power. I'm looking at the other teams. The only team I'm concerned about is Saltsea Jasmine, who's playing a Rangers composition. You can see that there is a Last Whisper over there, and they're clearly building into like the Ash Twitch Poison Crystal Rangers team composition. Here's another round where the Zephyr doesn't do all that much, but taking out the brand is not bad. I think this is an Inferno 6 composition, so the extra... this is a round where having that extra magic resistance on Olaf really helps. Like, we were going to win this round anyway, but it's still helpful to have that and give him a little bit more protection from all the fires that are on the ground. So as I was saying, the only comp that I'm kind of worried about right now is Sea Salt Jasmine, because that's going into Rangers, and that is a comp that outscales Berserkers. Berserkers are not great in the late game. Very strong mid-game comp. They kind of spike around, right now, like when you're level 7 into level 8, but they're not that strong as the game goes on. So like I could roll here, but like there's not really a lot I would find from rolling. Like I could roll down, but there's just not a ton to be gained. I guess I could look for 2-star Kha'Zix or 2-star Azir, but I feel like since I'm in such strong shape, I do better right now to push to 9. Not even so much because I need champions at 9, but because I can also deny the chance for some of the other players to get champs at 9 by doing that. There is an argument to be made that I shouldn't do this, that I should try to roll down and get stuff aggressively here at level 8 and try to knock other players out before they can level up. Like, there's an argument to be made for doing that, but the only thing I would really find right now is another Olaf, like another 2-star Olaf, and that seems a little bit unlikely. So yeah, Taric there, but I can't really make use of Taric in this team composition. So what am I going to do with these items? I'm going to look to go ahead and make a Thief's Glove from these two. I realized when I did not get a recurve bow, at this point I'm not going to get a Last Whisper unless I get a completed item off Carousel, because from this point forward the carousels and the minion rounds drop completed items, not components, so I'm just not going to be able to make Last Whisper from that, and I might as well make a finished item. I'll put it on Azir. The idea is I'm probably going to transfer this over to someone, probably Kha'Zix later on, and just make use of this. By the way, this person, Red Tang, still not moving his LeBlanc, who once again gets popped up in the air by my Zephyr. Running a Woodland Druid comp, and this just gets outscaled. Like, it's not good late game. I mean, maybe if you can find a Woodland Lux, this would be playable, but like, what are the odds you're going to find a Woodland Lux? You have to transition out of Woodland Druid into something else. He's waited way too long to transition out of this. Like, that stuff was good for the first couple of rounds, but like, it's not good anymore. And looky here, Sea Salt Jasmine, indeed, turning into my main competition. Well, and we also have something very interesting. Look at this. We managed to find double Zeds. I was like, ooh, Zed. That's pretty interesting. Zed will play into he will play into the electric that I have on Volibear, and I can also look to play the Kha'Zix over the Azir there. So I'll look to make that swap. But I'm thinking I want to transfer that Thief's Club over to Zed. Like, I can't control what he rolls, but if I can get a 2-star Zed with the Thief's Club, he's going to be pretty strong. And then maybe at level 9 I can look... Well, I think I would play the Zed at level 9. But it certainly opens up some more options. Opens up the chance to look to maybe go into Electric and do a little bit more there. Berserkers Comp does not typically go into Electric, but I mean, I can't really deny if I get the opportunity to pick up a Z2 this easily. There is some synergy there, even though Electric 2 is not very strong this late in the game. So we'll knock out another player. We knock out Barak Solid, and there we go. There's the Z2 star. I was like, all right, well, this is really awesome. So let's sell that Azir. Let's go ahead and level to 9. So we'll put the Zed in, put the Thief's Glove on him, get another Zephyr, and then we'll go ahead and put the Kha'Zix in. And I'm actually only one away on Assassins, too. So if I want to, I could potentially look to drop the Karma and then look to put in another Assassin. That wouldn't be a bad play either. In terms of playing Assassins, who would I put? I would probably put in Kiana. Now, Ocean's not going to do anything. She's Ocean on this map. That's not going to do anything. But that gives me another option to look to go into this. Also, a lot of talking there on the chat. I think I mute the chat at some point. We're up against a light comp here. Oh, it's that same light comp from before, a Noble 6. So yeah, this comp just, I don't know what this is trying to be, but whatever it's trying to be. I guess it's trying to be a Lucian Senna comp, which is typically referred to as husband and wife comp, but that doesn't happen. So we knock out another player. I've knocked out all 3 players that have been eliminated thus far. I knocked out Katusa, then Barak Solid, then Noble 6. So yeah, I went ahead and muted because I was getting annoyed by that chat. And oh look, there's a Last Whisper. I was like, ooh, Last Whisper. Let's go ahead and grab that. Don't take my Last Whisper. Don't take my Last Whisper. I want that item for Olaf. Don't take my Last Whisper. I'm telling you, don't take my Last Whisper. All right, it's right there. I'm going to grab it. It's right there. I'm going to grab it. Come on. And then Jim M takes it. I was like, are you kidding me? So I have to take the Hand of Justice. And Hand of Justice is a pretty good item on Olaf, too. It's just not as good as Last Whisper, but it's still pretty good. Life on hit or extra damage. So, and the tier part of that allows me to get his ult off faster. So I was like, all right, well, I'll play this, even though it's not quite what I wanted. So yeah, I'm going to shift around a little bit. I'm actually now I'm going to move my units into the back lines. We're at the point where the Ocean Hexes aren't that significant now. So I'm going to look to move some of these guys around. Make sure that I'm getting my Zephyr in a decent spot. And I will look to move the Scion around to see if I can Zephyr somebody better. You can see out of these comps, again, the only one that's really dangerous is Sea Salt Jasmine. So I'm going to try to be in a position to hit that Ashe in case I would hit that team composition. I don't end up hitting that comp. I'm up against Red Tang yet again. I feel like I've been playing this comp over and over and over again. And every time I win very easily. Still get another pretty good Zephyr, if not quite as good as before. But yeah, like the LeBlancs, the Nikos, they just don't hold up. So we're going to knock out another player. It's the 4th player we've eliminated, although one person did get knocked out, not by me at this point. And now we're finally top 4. So it's going to be just down to me and Sea Salt Jasmine and Jim M. And these are the comps I'm going to have to worry about. So right now, all I'm really rolling for is the 2-star. I'm rolling for the 2-star Kha'Zix. I was thinking about the Glacial Lux. I was like, that's tempting. But ultimately I thought, all right, I'm not going to play the Glacial Lux. That would get me Glacial 4, but only on Lux and only on Volibear and Olaf. I did manage to find one additional Olaf there, so I'd love to try to get to 9 Olafs. Here I was trying to hit the Ashe on the other team, but this is Jim M's comp, and he managed to switch... Or no, this is Sea Salt Jasmine, excuse me. This is the Rangers comp. Managed to switch the Ashe out of the way. Unfortunately, now he has gone into Poison and managed to get this in, and you can see... The Berserkers comp is starting to get outscaled a little bit, so am I going to be able to win this round? Yes, for my 16th win in a row. But you can see that the scaling is starting to come into play, and that the other team is starting to get stronger. So if I'm going to win against these comps, so like, yeah, there's the full comp, Poison, Rangers, doesn't have Crystal in yet. I'm just going to look to replace that Braum with a Taric, to be sure, to get Crystal. But like that comp's going to be strong. And Jim M, spoiler alert, haven't shown this on stream, but he is going into Shadow 6, and he's going to be looking to make a 2-star Master Yi. Only 1 round away from being eliminated. Like, Jim M can't lose any more rounds. He'll be eliminated on his next loss. But Shadow 6 also outscales this Berserkers comp. Still, I get some nice stuff there. I get a Nico's help, Maybe if I can find some more Olafs, I can use that. And I also get this Ludens, which I'll just put on Karma so she ults instantly. I don't really have anyone else who can use that. So now I'm just rolling down, mostly looking for Olafs. There's another Glacial Lux. So I probably maybe should have looked to play that. I've got a lot of money here, but I don't really have a lot to spend it on, unfortunately. So I'm just rolling, looking to see if I can find anything. A lot of good champs, but nothing really. I was thinking about Mystic, but Mystic's not really going to help me against these comps. They're physical damage comps. Also, I spent too long rolling. I should have stopped the position. That was a mistake, and as a result, my Zephyr is not going to hit anything important. In fact, it hits Twitch, who has a Quicksilver and can't be disabled. And it looks like this team comp with me not Zephyring anyone out of the way. Also, Zed doesn't get off a very good... Zed gets popped pretty early. And there's also the Crystal in now. Got that Taric in there. This is actually going to be a loss, so no, the winning streak's finally over. And yeah, this is the danger, is that team comp, that Rangers comp outscales me. But look, now all of a sudden, aha, an Electric Lux. I was like, ooh, Electric Lux. Well, I'm playing Zed. That would take me up to Electric 4. That sounds pretty good. If I can find one more... I've got that Nico's help over there, so I just need to find one more Lux. I'm going to roll it down here. Give me Luxes or Olafs. That's what I'm looking for. Not going to find that here. And let's see, can I manage to position my Olaf? I'm going to try to get that Ash on Sea Salt Jasmine's comp. I'm not going to get that. Instead, I'm going to get the Master Yi, but oh, the Quicksilver again. I guess I actually got one of the champs on the other team. So if I win this round, I can eliminate Jim M. He's very low. He's only got the 7 health, but he is running that Shadow 6 team composition. And oh man, that Master Yi 2-star. Oh, he's on 1 hit. Oh, he dodged. Oh, the Master Yi had 32 health and he dodged an attack that would have killed him. I was like, are you kidding me? Could have knocked that player out, but nope. Now the Shadow 6 is still in. So I've got 2 comps that both outscale me, Poison Crystal Rangers and Shadow 6. So can I make this happen with my Berserkers comp that's gotten outscaled and now this Electric? Electric 4 is very strong, 500 damage anytime a unit crits or is hit by a critical hit. So right now I need to again look to position. I'm going to try to hit the Ash on the other team. This is Sea Salt Jasmine's comp, so I'm going to get Ash because I can't get Twitch. Twitch is protected by that Quicksilver. Really nice Scion ult right before getting poisoned. And Lux is going to get her ult off. So yeah, we're actually going to be able to win this. Also, by the way, Volibear did the most damage. What the heck? But that was a ghost round, so I don't win. And I do not get anything for my troubles. I just avoid taking damage, which is kind of annoying. Well, out of these items, I was hoping there'd be another Olaf here, because I'm actually only a couple Olafs away from being able to 3-star Olaf. I have a... I have 6 Olafs, and here I was thinking about what item. I ended up going for the Frozen Heart here. I think that was a mistake. I think I should have picked up the Quicksilver for Lux to prevent her from getting CC'd. I think that would have been the strongest option. Instead, I went with the Frozen Heart. I believe I ended up playing this on Scion just to make him a little bit tankier, but I think I should have gone for another Lux item here. Actually, wouldn't even let me put that on the Scion. So yeah, that's just to try to apply the attack speed debuff and make him a little bit tankier. So I'm just rolling. Again, I'm looking for more Olafs. I have 6 Olafs. I've got the Nico's help. That gets me to 7. But look, there's an Electric Lux. I was like, oh, I can lock. But then I was like, no, I'm not going to find the Olaf. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to Nico it. And boom, there we go. Lux 2-star. So I'll just put the Chain Vest on her. And now I'm going to swap back again because I'm still targeting Ash on that enemy team. And aha, Sea Salt Jasmine did not move his Ash. I mean, he's got a really strong Twitch there in the back line. So it's important to take out Ash, if nothing else, and to stop that Crystal from coming in. And look, we managed to assassinate the Twitch before Ash comes back down, and that's going to be enough to win this one. By the way, Lux does the most damage. Volibear does the second most damage. So that's Electric 4 in action. Volibear topping the charts. And now it's down to just me and Jim M. So it's going to be between the two of us to see who can win this last round. I guess I will roll down here. Not really anything to find. I'm not going to 3-star any of these champs at this stage of the game. It's just not going to happen. So look at how Jim M's positioned. Look at what he's done. He's put all his units in the back row, and he's got a Scion up in front with a Trap Claw. So what do we need to do here? There's a blindingly obvious choice here. We need to Zephyr his Scion, because that will stop the rest of his team from being protected. So I'm going to move my Scion up. That's going to Zephyr his Scion out of the way, and that's going to let all my Berserkers jump right onto that back line. So this is Zephyr units at its finest. Lux going to get her ult off. Now the one thing is, if we can just kill that Master Yi, because he's doing a ridiculous amount of damage back there, he's going to look to kill everyone. Oh, Olaf's low, and whew, that was close. Just barely enough damage to kill that terrifying Master Yi with the Shadow 6 buff, but it's enough. Zephyr use for the win yet again, and we're able to Zephyr out the Scion who is protecting his team comp, jump all over that, and Berserkers for the win with a little assistance from Electric in the late game. So now, obviously, you're not going to find an Electric Lux every game. You're not going to find a 2-star Zed every game. But it's a good example of adapting your team comp to what you get. I certainly was given a lot in this game, but I'd like to think that I took advantage of it and made good use of the things that I found. Overall, Berserkers is it's a very good comp to play right now, but you're not going to top the lobby that often with Berserkers because you do get outscaled in the late game by Shadow 6 and by the Poison Crystal Rangers. They're just stronger in the late game, so you kind of have to find something like I did here with the Electric, or be really clever with your use of like Zephyrs and positioning. Otherwise, you're probably going to get second or third, which is, let's face it, that's still pretty darn good in Teamfight Tactics. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, hope you're having a great week. See you guys again soon.